Welcome back, everybody. This is Between Sundays podcast. I am Bobby.
I'm Justus.
And this is episode 9 as we are getting into the new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. And I don't know about y'all. Maybe some of y'all actually watched the ball drop. Justus, do you watch the ball drop, or are you one of those you're in bed before the ball drops?
It kind of varies each year. I mean, I think every year I hype myself up for it. I'm staying up for it. We're doing this. And then it's kind of like, I have no problem staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning like any other day, but that night it's like, oh my goodness, this is such a drag, and I think it's mainly because that's something that I think I have to do is the reason I don't want to do it.
Oh, so, yeah.
Definitely that procrastination, but it's always something that I always plan on doing. This year, definitely did watch it though.
Yeah. It's funny years past because, like with the boys, they always hype it up. They want to stay up.
Do you pre-record it and then like show it to them at like 9 o'clock and be like, "Happy New Year! Y'all got to go to bed."
No, because mine are too observant. They would very quickly
Dad,
know.
it's still light outside.
Yeah,
I know, it's just one of those things.
They would very quickly know, especially my oldest. He doesn't let anything past him. So he would know very quickly.
You need to try that.
I think I missed the window.
Oh.
I think I missed the window with them. We should have done it when they were. But no, what's funny is they'll hype it up. And they'll be like, we're going to stay up. And last year for sure, they went to sleep. So Heather and I sitting there and we're like, why are we still awake right now?
Yeah.
Because they're asleep.
Yeah.
And so we woke them up.
Yeah.
To tell them Happy New Year. They was up for like, what? Like 2 seconds, and then they went back to sleep.
Yeah.
So the old people outlasted, the kids trying to watch the ball drop. No, what happens with us, and I think this is where I get tired some years, is I'm finding it more if you don't have cable, right? Like we don't have DirecTV or anything. Like we do, internet TV for everything. If you don't have some type of regular channel service, it's harder and harder to find a channel or something that has the ball drop. Mm-hmm. And if that's not a weird country somewhere or something like that, or we've found, Pacific time and it's 2 hours behind us or something. I have
done that before. That was the wildest New Year's ever. We're on, we were on, I guess that'd be kind of Central Time. So we were an hour behind the time whenever I lived in Alabama. We were an hour behind the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally watched one where it was New York's ball drop.
Yeah.
Well, they're an hour ahead.
Yeah.
And like I was like, Happy New Year, Happy New. And then it was like 11 o'clock and I was like, oh man, I messed that up, didn't I? But no, yeah, if you're pirating your TV from Tel Aviv you are.
Yeah, it's just, it makes it, and that's what,
it's got pros and cons.
I get aggravated because like by the time I find it, there's like no Ryan Seacrest out there for all that stuff, if you're internet TV. And so, yeah, it makes it tough for some years to find it. So anyway, awesome. I guess maybe if I had like rabbit ears or something for... Yeah, I don't know. But I get aggravated trying to find it, and then I'm like done with it. I'm like, forget this. Yeah. Let's go to bed.
I want to go to bed anyway.
Yeah, and then I look down and my kids are asleep. I'm like, I'm not even wasting my time. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's been everything in between. We've fallen asleep some years. They woke us up. It's all over the place.
That's awesome.
So, but, awesome. But we hope you guys are having a good new year. And 2020, that is so nuts. Crazy. It feels like we just started 2025.
We said something the other day. We were talking about something with one of the vans of the church, and it said it was a 2015, and I was like, oh, this is a few years old. I was like, wait a second.
No, it's not.
That's 11 years old now.
Yeah.
Like that was 11 years ago. That's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
That's nuts.
Now starts the time where for the next 2 months you write the date wrong on every piece of paper.
Awkward thing where you write 20.
No, it's 20. Yeah.
Oh, it's 25.
So
Dadgummit.
all that fun stuff. So, but with New Year's comes New Year's resolutions, which is always a fun time of year to see what's going to happen. I'll never forget. We this was not our New Year's resolution. We just happened to be in the consistency of it when New Year's rolled around. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget, Heather and I, this was when we lived around Aiken, South Carolina, and about September of the year before, we had started pretty steady going to the gym, things like that, working out. Was not a New Year's resolution. But again, we were in the gym. Don't laugh. It was not a New Year's resolution. We were in the gym when New Year's rolled around. And, dude, I remember the week we went in January, parking lot was slammed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I circled 3 times.
They're running specials right now.
Oh, they're getting ready.
Yeah.
They're getting ready. All-time high for gym memberships this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that stuff. Everybody's going in. The parking lots are full. And so for the first, couple weeks, like, we couldn't find a parking spot. I was like parking on the road just to get into the gym. And then about mid-February, it was like night and day difference. I wish I could say it gradually fell off. It was like night and day difference.
Yeah.
Because there, and like front row parking spot.
Yep.
All that stuff. We're like, okay, back to normal.
Yep.
So, But with that being said, everybody, they do their New Year's resolutions. And we all know how that goes.
Yeah. So I had to pull some up. So these are just percentage. Like, I like percentages. I think percentages are funny because it kind of gives kind of a broad expectation or kind of the reality of it. These are just percentages. I don't even know who took this. YouGov.com is where I got this.
Okay.
So this is the top 10 New Year's resolutions in the United States and the percentage of how many people actually do this. So,
okay, so this is a percentage that they are. Like,
this is the percentage of the population. No. That says that they're going to do them.
Oh, okay.
This is how many people say this is what they're. Do you know what number 1 is?
Go to the gym.
Nope.
No.
That's number 3, actually.
Okay, so up there.
Yeah.
What's number 1?
Save more money. It's number 1.
Say it.
So I'm not even gonna act like that's gonna be my number 1.
No, I don't think that's ever been. I don't even think that's ever been a resolution of mine.
That's never been even a thought of mine. So I don't even know how it could be a resolution. I've never even thought one time about saving money. Number 2 is improve physical health. It's kind of an overall goal. Let me back up. 26 to 21% of Americans make this resolution every year.
Okay.
22% say they want to improve their health. A little bit less than that, 22% say they want to exercise more. So that's 2 and 3. Be happy or improve happiness, 22% say that's what their plan is to do. Okay. 20% of Americans say they want to eat healthier. That's number 5. 15 to 17% say they want to lose weight. So all of these are kind of under that umbrella.
Yeah. Very, very vague though.
Yeah. Spend more money. Spend more money. That's always my resolution. Spend more time with family and friends. 14%.
Okay.
That's number 7. Be more organized.
It's kind of sad that one's that low.
Yeah. Yeah, like 15. What was it? 14% of Americans like, I need to spend a little bit more time with these people.
Wow.
And then there's another 76% that's like, nah, we ain't even doing
They're
this.
like, we're fine.
No, we're good.
Once a year is fine.
Let's see. Be more organized and productive. A broader poll with that says 15%, but it's estimated to be a little less than 14%.
Okay.
Travel more is number 9. Improve mental health and self-care is number 10. So I got all these numbers, which kind of cracked me up.
That's still low, though, too, for that. Like, I'm going to save money and be just psychotic.
In shape, but I'm going to be crazy.
Yeah. Than rather being stable in our mind and everything else. I would think that would be number 1. Like, let's not be chaotic this year.
Okay, so this is the part that made me chuckle. This is, and you just said it and didn't even realize, and it really just backs up these statistics.
Okay.
23 of Americans that make a resolution, 23%, quit within the first week.
Within the first week?
Within the first week. 23%.
I wish I could say that surprised me.
43% quit before January. Before the end of January.
I kind of figured that idea, that number.
Nearly 90%. This is a bold statement right here. Nearly 90% abandon goals by the end of February.
90%.
Or before the end of next year. So majority of people have already fallen off at February.
Yeah. They're basically saying if they're not there by February, the rest of the year's a wash.
9% of all Americans. I don't even know how many Americans that is. I don't know why I'm a nerd when it comes to like number stuff, but only 9% of Americans are recorded to actually have kept their resolutions for a full year. 6% go past a year.
Oh, wow.
So out of all of those things,
that's low.
That 9% of Americans is like, yeah, I can actually.
That's an elite group.
Be a 9%er, you know?
That's a 9%er. That's a t-shirt somewhere.
I'm going to be part of that 9% this year.
On spending more money?
Yeah.
My New Year's resolution is spend more money. I have successfully completed that about every year. So
no, I highly recommend, though, kind of like completely off topic, if you do make a resolution to go to the gym, stick with it until like May, because you will never talk to these people in the gym, but you will grow such a bond with these people that you've never talked to, because you're like, yep, green sweatpants, he quit like 2 weeks ago, and be like, yep, I'm right there with you, tank top. Like I know, like all of these people. When I was going to, this is going to be my resolution this year is, after I got back from my trip, I completely just dropped off. So January 1.
You were pretty regular before.
I was 6 days a week.
Before the trip, yeah.
And then
I was never 6. I wish I could say I was 6 days a week. I was never 6 days a week.
I'm going to get back
probably
to that.
Most, I will say consistently, we were dead on 3 days a week, more 4 days a week when we were going. Which, again, that was with having a newborn too and stuff like that, or toddler. So that was pretty good for us for 3 to 4 days a week with a kid, and you're kind of juggling time with that, and my work schedule and our ministry schedule, Heather's work schedule. It was it was good. We felt good with that.
Yeah.
And one, we were glad it wasn't a resolution. So we were pretty steady for a couple of years there. I'll say this, about up till we moved here.
Really?
Yeah. It was just, here was a new job and a new baby at the time, and just kind of figuring things out. But yeah, it is funny seeing, you kind of see what people's goals are, what their aspirations are, what they're trying to go after. And that's what we want to talk about today. It's kind of this topic of New Year's resolutions that never last. But what actually can, or what actually does, because if we're, just as much as we set goals like that, whether it's mental health or, getting in shape, or all those things, I still think that's funny. That's at like the bottom of the list. I want to be mentally stable is last. But anyway,
I need about 50% of Americans to
I need y'all to bump that up, because that would save me a lot in public interactions. It'd save my
mental health if y'all would get yourselves under control.
Yes. How much easier would ministry be if people's resolution was better mental health?
Ministry would be so easy if it just got rid of people altogether. Like if we could just bypass that.
It's the thing that would single-handedly make ministry better and done all at the same time.
Yep.
If we didn't have people, but we got to help people. So it is just, it comes with all those things. But, just as much as we do those things, as far as, health and more money or less money, saving money, whatever we do,
more money, more problems.
Yes. we do that on the spiritual side of things with good intention.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if we are unstructured or undisciplined in those areas, we're going to be the same way in our spiritual life, in our walk with the Lord. We make the resolutions, as far as spiritual resolutions, as far as our faith goes. And really the same way they go 2 weeks. I'm sure, this time of year is the most subscriptions you'll see created with YouVersion. Mm-hmm. The Bible app. Mm-hmm. It'll probably be the biggest time of year that everybody clicks on. I'm going to read the Bible in a year. And, I would be curious at that percentage. Maybe we can find that and post that.
Yeah.
The percentage of people that actually complete the YouVersion Bible in a year reading plan. And again, we have good motivation or good intentions with it, but it's a lot of pressure when it comes down to it. And I'll say this: today's not necessarily about making people feel bad or anything like that. Look, we're in it too. We have messed up,
unfortunately,
on resolutions. We are not perfect at it at all. But as we talk about these resolutions we always make, I was kind of jotting some down, trying to think of the ones that you hear on the spiritual side of things this time of year. I'm gonna read my Bible every single day, or I'm gonna read it in a year, or I'm gonna wake up early to pray, even if I'm not a morning person. Like I'm gonna get up early, even though I've never got up before 6 o'clock ever. I may have to set 15 alarms, make my whole house mad, but I'm gonna get up. I'm never going to miss church, or for our students, I'm never going to miss youth group, until I got to go see that football game or do this or that, or I'm going to stop, I'm going to be, and if, again, kind of like some of if you notice too, on that list, they were very broad.
Yeah.
Nothing specific.
It can't be specific because it's easier to give up if it's specific.
Yes, specific holds us to it a little bit more. But, I'm going to be a better Christian this year. Well, that sounds good. But what all does that mean?
Yeah.
Even down to a little bit serious of, I'm going to stop struggling with that sin. And again, that's good, and we want that. Those should be goals that we have. But we've got to be, there's a word I love making sure that our teens are aware of all the time, and it is realistic. Mm-hmm. How can we get to that place that things are realistic in this life? When we set goals are a good thing. Goals are never a bad thing in this life. But we've got to be realistic with those things to make sure that we uphold these things that we strive to do for the Lord. And there was I don't know if you've got that verse pulled up we were talking about a little bit earlier, but in life we got to make sure that if we're asking God to help us with things, or we make this promise for the Lord, that we do our best as Christians to uphold those things. And before we get a little bit further, I want you to take a minute and just kind of set up that verse and talk about this, because I do feel like it could. Let's pull in another word we've talked about a lot throughout this past, or last year, accountability. Mm-hmm. I believe, whether it is a person or whether it's a scripture, can hold us accountable to go after those goals.
Yeah.
And be able to achieve those things that we desire. Because again, we need to have things we strive for.
Yeah.
But they need to be realistic at the end of the day. So take a minute and kind of talk about that verse today, and we'll kind of set up the rest of the episode.
Yeah. So Ecclesiastes chapter number 5. Let's see. We'll start in verse 4. Really, the context of this verse is he's talking about, and some of the resolutions that we're going to make, or we're making resolutions to each other of saying, hey, maybe even I'm making this resolution to myself, which you'll never hold yourself accountable almost anything. So that's why it's important that we do have other people. But if you say this year, Lord, I promise you I'm going to do this. This is what the Bible has to say about that. Verse number 4, it says, Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse number 4, when thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. So, of course, the verse is just saying, if you're going to promise something, don't say you can't pay it or you're going to try to pay it. You better pay it.
Yeah.
So verse number 5, better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou vowest a vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. This is a big part of this verse. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angels that if it was an error, Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angels that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice, and shall destroy the work of thy hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there was also divers vanities, but fear thou God. So what he's saying in this whole excuse me, what he's saying, that whole little section of verses there, is a lot of times, especially whenever New Year's hits around, we have our mouth run crazy.
Yeah.
And we'll say all of these unrealistic things sometimes of, I want to do this, this, and this. And, I think if we have a track record in the back of saying, man, this person got this, and this done, I think he can do it. But sometimes we're so quick to say what we're going to do, and then we never do it. And that's what the Bible's talking about here. He's saying, if any of these resolutions that you're making, maybe to him that know it was sin and does it anyway, then it's sin. So if you didn't know this, I just want to preface that. If you didn't necessarily know about this verse and you've already promised God everything under the sun, I believe there's still time to ask for forgiveness for not knowing that part.
Yeah.
And being able to say, Lord, I know I said this stuff, but I don't want to go against my word, but I just don't want you to, I want you to take this as serious as I am.
Yeah.
Or I'm wanting to take this as serious as the Lord is. But realizing that if you're going to say you're going to do something, it's better for you not to even say you're going to do it than for you to say you're going to do it and not go through with it.
Yeah. And
I think that's a crucial verse to New Year's Day, of saying, man, some of y'all, I'm sure, maybe haven't made resolutions. Usually I don't make resolutions or think about them until after, but
I just make suggestions.
Yeah, I have a suggestion box, but it's very serious thing to the Lord of saying, if you do say that you're going to read your Bible through in a year, it's better for you not to even say you're going to than for you to promise the Lord that. I don't want to scare people into thinking that, man, that's just unrealistic, I can't do that. It's just making sure that you're holding yourself accountable to something that you've said.
Yeah.
You're not letting your mouth get before your actions of saying, well, I'm going to do this, and then just never pull through with that.
Yeah.
I believe there's great blessings for people that say they're going to do something, especially for the Lord. They say they're going to do something, and then they do it.
Absolutely.
I think your faithfulness is shown in that. And it's something that you just said a minute ago. I think a lot of it, it's not that the goals that we set are bad. I think sometimes they're just too extreme.
Yeah.
They're just unrealistic when it comes down to that. And so it's something that maybe the problem isn't your desire, but it's the pressure that you put on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to hold yourself accountable, but make sure whenever you're setting these resolutions, when you're trying to go through of saying, man, I'm trying to be a better person, the next day you don't go fuss somebody out because, they minorly inconvenienced you.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing to do, is when you start setting up resolutions to make sure that does it fall under that verse.
Absolutely. Well, and again, like you was talking about, it's not that we shouldn't have those goals. If we don't ever set goals, we'll never aspire for anything.
Yep.
There'll never be anything that we try to go after. But the thing is we put, a lot of times we put more unrealistic expectations on ourselves than God does. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing, God's not asking us to be perfect. God never expects us to be perfect. but we almost hold ourselves to some level of near perfection.
Yeah.
That, again, God never asked us to try to go after that in life. It's just, like you said, being faithful in those things. And I believe God values the faithfulness, even if it is small, right? Yeah. But it can be consistent in life. Yeah. I know with our church here at Temple, of course, one of the big things that we strive for is discipleship groups around our church. Mm-hmm. And, you've been a part of them. You lead some now. I've been a part and lead some now. And through that, we always strive to get them to set goals, whether it be a personal goal or a spiritual goal, even a ministry goal. Mm-hmm. We talk about those things. And one thing that I love through it, and I believe all this falls in this category, even though we're not wording it resolution necessarily at the moment, but as we talk about goals for discipleship, we talk about, is it attainable, right? Is it realistically something that you can go after? Mm-hmm. Is it trackable? Can you see the progress happening in it? Because I'll say this, I'm a big advocate for celebrating the little victories, because I believe it's the little victories that get us to the next thing. Yeah. It's no different than, I'm sure, if you've been in the gym and you say you just bettered your weight before by lifting 1 more pound or 5 more pounds. Mm-hmm. That's better than going backwards. And it's those things that drive you to get to the next thing. I play golf. I love playing. And, it's the difference in me, shooting a couple strokes better on my score this time than the last time. It's the little things. It's mm-hmm. not that I went out and qualified for the tour, yeah, but I still got better. Yeah. So is it trackable? Is it attainable? Can you see clear structure to it to help you go after it? And so, one thing I remember helping one of our teens one time, again, wasn't a resolution. This was just middle of the year. We were doing discipleship. And he said, I want to be more consistent in reading my Bible. And so I said, okay, that's a great statement, but how do we make this process happen? How do we get to where this is something that can be attainable in your life? Not just something that you're all gung-ho for and then you fizzle out. And so obviously I wasn't like, well, go to YouVersion and click the year in the Bible thing. Mm-hmm. Though that's great. And if anybody, and I'll say this, anybody listening, if you've done that, like, hats off to you. Like, I applaud you. That's great. And you're the 9%ers. you're in that category. So I'm thankful for people that are able to do it. I've never clicked on that plan. I've never done it. But I was sitting there talking with him, and I said, okay, well, tell me a goal. He said, well, I'd like to not read through the Bible. He said, I just want to consistently be in the Bible every day for, I think he said 60 days, something like that. I was like, okay, now we've got a set point that we're going after. Mm-hmm. And so we did it by time frame. And so I said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to set your timer, and I want you to read for so many minutes. No. We did it by chapters, verses or chapters. And so, but we set something that, okay, every 10 days he upped his increment. Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, he's steady in his Bible and still very steady in it today. But what did we try to do? We tried to make it, realistic, something that he could go after, that he could be consistent in his life. And I get to this place, and the big question I ask, and as we evaluate things, is we got to make sure, where have we got to this place where spiritual growth has to be this extreme thing, this big thing that happens in big increments. Mm-hmm. There's a phrase they used to tell us all the time in college, that any step in the right direction is a good step. Yeah. Whether it's big or whether it's little, any step in the right direction is a good step, And so it's one of those things of just how can we put our best foot forward to stay realistic with these things?
Yeah. It's definitely, I know whenever I started going to the gym, for instance, I quickly learned that discipline will take you farther and will take you places that motivation never can.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us start with good intentions, but good intentions only take us so far.
Yeah.
I think anything that you really set your mind to and want to do, whether that be, a personal goal or a family goal, a financial goal, a marriage goal, a relationship goal, whatever that might be, also a spiritual goal, is the goal is good, but make sure that you're setting up a plan to be able to achieve that goal.
Yes.
A lot of times you kind of alluded to it earlier, I want to be a great Christian. What are some of your detailed steps of how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
And I think where there, even, the Bible verse, where there is no vision, the people perish. Same thing goes with ministry wise, is when we sit down and we present what we're going to do as a ministry, we got to have everything in order and detailed to make sure everything is, all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. And that goes through that translates over to life. I coach basketball, and something that I've tried my hardest to make sure that my guys remember is that, it's the little things that matter, those little tiny details that you don't think really are that important. When you look back on it, you say, man, it was not the big steps that I took, but it was just sometimes lifting my foot was what took it to the next level. So set yourself goals, but set yourself steps to achieve those goals. I think that's extremely crucial. And I think something that we think almost as a bad thing when it comes to resolutions is the Lord isn't impressed by how long you do something. He's wanting your effort and wanting your faithfulness. And
it's not like streaks on Snapchat or anything like that. Like, we've got to hit this badge for doing it so many days. But
it's a lot of times we take ourselves out of the fight because we were just too lazy to put an effort in that day.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that if we're being honest, needs to be corrected in some things, with making sure those resolutions stay there. But
I want to add to that too real quick. If you do have an off day, if you have a mess up day, like, I'll say this to
just
an
throw
extent,
in the towel if that happens. Just give up entirely. It's not worth it anymore.
In a sense, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, God's not going to be like, well, I can't believe, how dare he have that one mess up? Because again, God's not asking us to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I'd rather, it's almost that thing of, and I think what kind of a phrase to tag with this scripture is, make sure that we don't overpromise and underdeliver on what we're saying we're going to do for the Lord.
Yeah.
God would rather us just have realistic promises or vows than these big grand ones that we get in it and we almost immediately know we cannot uphold those things.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's where we hit a lot of times. We hit a place where we pretty much know after we've said it, like, I can't get there, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to get there in this moment. And so again, it's okay if you're not perfect with it. I don't believe God's going to be mad at you. I mean, does he want us to get better at it? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think he's going to be mad at us through it, in those moments. And so, as you're listening and as you're in the new year, 2026, man, we don't know what it's going to look like. As long as it, Lord help, as long as it doesn't look anything like 2020, we're fine. Any year not looking like
famous
that,
last words right there.
Yeah, I know.
If it all goes down the gutter,
I know,
Bobby's fault. He said
that's up there with Popeyes trying to be Chick-fil-A is what it all happened. So, but as we get into this year, we want to again challenge you guys, as you take into account that scripture. And if you've never read that, go look up Ecclesiastes 5:4-7.
Read all of Ecclesiastes. It's a
all,
very encouraging book.
It's all good. It's like Brother Brent says one time, just turn anywhere. It's all good, you know. But as you look at that scripture, do keep in mind, I believe God, God does take us seriously when we make a vow for Him, right? When we say we're going to go after and do something for Him.
He still is a rewarder to those that diligently seek Him.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And so we cannot be, lax in our faith and expect progress or results from it. It's no different, again, than you going to the gym, and if you're lax in your workout or halfway in your workout, you're not going to see the results from it. And so there are blessings to, upholding those things that you're wanting to do. And like you said, God is a rewarder of those that go after, that diligently seek Him. But, as we kind of wrap it up, kind of maybe give you a little challenge today. Our goal is always to do that as we have these episodes. Like they said in college, we don't want to just give you information without application. We want to be able to give you something and then say, hey, well, let's try this, and maybe it'll help you in your life. But, pick one small habit. Pick something that you strive to go after. We're not necessarily trying to make this episode about laying out all your resolutions or what you want to do. If it is reading your Bible, if it is praying more, if it is whatever it is, right? Be realistic with it. If it's your prayer life has been hit or miss, don't say, I'm going to go tomorrow and I'm going to start praying 2 hours a day. It sounds great, but that's a lot of praying, and if you've never done that, that's a lot to take on. It's not saying you can't get there, but I remember I had a Bible teacher one time. He said, look, if you want to start being consistent in your prayer life, he said, set a timer for 5 minutes and pray for 5 minutes. And when that timer goes off, say amen, and that's okay. And then do that for a little bit, and then set your timer for, I was thinking him to go like 5, 10, 20, like double it. He's like, set your timer for 6 minutes or set it for, and I know we're like, oh, that's nothing. I can do that. But we get about 5 days in, we're like, oh man, that's more than I realized,
Yeah.
So just pick one habit that's realistic, and do it for the next 7 days, right? Don't even say this is my resolution for the year. Just try to make it to the end of the week, and you may be amazed at what can happen in your life, as you move forward with those things. I mean, you heard the percent. What'd you say? 9% total for the year, but I mean,
9% of people. At least that thing said 9% of people will actually have held their resolutions for 1 year.
And that's a whole year. But I mean, you look at, y'all remember, you listened to what we talked about earlier, just those that ended by January or just those that ended by February.
Yeah, like 20-something% was over by just 30 days.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you think about it like this, for those of you listening, if you take this just 7 days at a time.
We're watching for your Facebook to see what your resolutions are.
If you just take it, we're going to track it. But if you just knock this thing out 7 days at a time, you are going to quickly set yourself up to be in a better place than a lot of people. If your Bible looks consistent for the next 7 days, I promise you this, you'll probably have one of the best weeks you've had in a long time. If your prayer life is consistent for the next 7 days, whatever it may be. Again, we know we're talking about spiritual goals today in a lot of sense, but if it is a health goal or a personal goal, whatever, any of those things, be realistic with those goals that you have, and don't feel guilty if you miss. Right? If you first week is spot on all 7 days, but the next week you miss a day because just something happened, it's okay. Like, it's going to be fine. God's not done with you. you know, you're going to be able to keep going with those things in your life.
Yeah.
And, I guess kind of a final encouragement for you guys, God isn't asking you to be a perfect Christian this year. Just be a present one. Just show up and do what God's asked you to do. Be faithful in those things. And before you know it, you're going to be able to see growth in your life. But again, the thing I challenge you with is just be consistent in those areas. Yep. Be realistic with those goals. Again, you ain't gotta no shade at you. You ain't gotta be at the gym 6 days a week. Just start showing up. You know,
Yeah.
If you get there, that's great. That's fine. Do what you can do when it comes to that Bible. If you don't click the YouVersion year plan, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Just go after something. Hey, there's still a reason we tell some of our teens, just pick a proverb a day. You never know what that can do.
There's 30 of them.
There's 30 of them. That's one a day. And again, you never know how that'll help you in your life. So guys, we appreciate y'all listening. And again, Happy New Year. We hope 2026 can be something good for you in the Lord. And we're praying for you guys. And whatever you set, whatever you strive for, just be realistic in those goals. Take it a day at a time. And before you know it, you'll be in this place with the Lord that maybe you never thought you could be at. And it might surprise yourself a little bit on what you can do for the Lord in your life. So, Absolutely. Guys, we appreciate y'all.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hope you have a great time this year. And if God's doing something in your life, showing you something, reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to hear. Maybe you have a resolution. Tell us what it is. We'd love to see what God is doing in your life. But, guys, we love y'all. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you on the next episode.
I felt like the resolution Dave Ramsey on that episode.